Pollyanna Blanco back here in the garden and so happy you're joining us for our third soul snack in Rhythm with Your Soul book club. Today's topic is all about seasons of transformation, which is an amazing way of understanding that our growth and our transformation is cyclical. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to make some time for you and to take some time to hear the share today, which is going to be all about the seasons of change and transformation topic that I speak about in my book In Rhythm with Your Soul, because I feel it's such a useful model, especially now more than ever, as we're moving through these times of such rapid change. It's definitely been helpful in my own life. For so long, I was led to believe, like so many of us, that change is a linear process. However, the ancients have known for thousands of years it's not. I'm really drawn to the Maya civilization and the belief that time happens as cycles. Really, it's like a spiral is how I like to see it now. And the seasons of change model really speaks to it. I first came across it when I was studying in the Divine Connections Practitioner program at the Transformational Arts College here in Toronto for quite a number of years. And it was created by Kathy Rindack and Gord Riddell. Kathy Rindack was the founder of the Transformational Arts College here in Toronto, and they're still up and going and offering amazing opportunities, so do check them out. I enjoyed thoroughly every moment I spent at that college, and I actually literally had to stop taking courses there because, as a few friends of mine there said, it's like we could keep taking courses there forever because there's just so many amazing offerings there. So this model today that I'm going to share with you is understanding just the way we have seasons during the year. There are similar seasons that we move through in our life. Now, depending on where you live and how you experience the four seasons, this may be more of an adjustment for you. As a Canadian living here in Toronto, I'm used to four very distinct seasons, and I realize not everyone has that same experience of the seasons depending on where you might be living. So if you've been experiencing feelings of being at a certain stuck point right now with all that's been going on with the pandemic, if you've been wondering about if everything's okay and not knowing how to get unstuck from that season that I'm going to speak to, then it's helpful to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, we know there will eventually be light at the end of the tunnel after the pandemic is over. For so many of us living in this sense of uncertainty of, wanting to know when the end is nigh has been hard on people. So by sharing this model, I hope that you can reacquaint yourself with your own internal seasons of change, so that despite what's going on in the outer world, you can use this model to reacquaint yourself with your own seasons, knowing that there are times in our lives where everything can look really bleak and everything can look like this is it. Lisa Nichols, who I love, motivational speaker Lisa Nichols, says we need to have a breakdown before we can have a breakthrough. And the breakdown doesn't feel good. And a lot of us, we want to have, as she says, the breakthrough before we have the breakdown. And when I say a breakdown, it can be in many forms. It can just be finding that things in our life that were once working and serving us well no longer are. We're kind of getting that catalyst pushing us to change. And that's actually a good thing. It's just in the midst of it, it doesn't always feel so great. So even in the face of so much outer uncertainty, I do hope this share will allow you to recognize maybe which season you're experiencing right now. So if you have your In Rhythm with Your Soul book, please get it out. If you would love to get a copy, I'd be more than happy to send you a copy. please email me at info@pollyannablanco.com, or you can go to my store and order it there as well too on my website, and I will send you an author signed copy. So anyways, with or without the book, enjoy. The share is coming up right now, and I'll give you the page to turn to as well in a second. A model I find helpful is the seasons of transformation I learned at the Transformational Arts College through the spiritual psychotherapy teachings of Gord Riddell and Kathy Rindak. The idea is that we all experience seasons of inner growth that impact our emotional, mental, and spiritual evolution. The ultimate purpose of transformation is to bring us closer to being who we really are, our true self, our essence, our magical child. As we grow up, we get cut off from that core self by shaming experiences, intentional or not. Around our shame, which is that sense that we are wrong or bad, we build a protective wall and contrive various defenses and subpersonalities, such as the rebel, pleaser, overachiever, or victim, to keep us safe and get us love. Becoming aware of these subpersonalities can help us retrieve our disowned parts of self, to embark on a journey to make the fragmented self whole. When we decide to address fears and unmet childhood needs as we move through the cycles of transformation, aspects of our subpersonalities will become reintegrated into a healthier, whole, and authentic self. You know, this desire to be all finished can leave us stuck in the evasive future. We have to remember that while there are plateaus of rest, we're never really done. We can choose to take many, many journeys throughout our lifetime. At different points in our life, we will spiral through some of the same issues, either going deeper into them or working with them from a higher level of consciousness when we revisit them. I personally have found that when an issue reappears for the second or even third time, it is less intense, and I tend to move through it more quickly. It's though I'm refining my awareness of it and reducing its unconscious power or grip over me. You know, when we choose to embrace change and transformation, the delicate balance with those around us also requires readjustment as well. Others may perceive us leaving the good old times behind and resist our newly embraced changes. Know that we can only control ourselves. Others will ultimately benefit from our being more and more in alignment with who we really are, as it presents them with an opportunity to do the same. When you listen deep within to hear your highest good, trust that it will also be the highest good for all. So now here's a brief summary of Riddell and Rindak's seasons of transformation, starting with autumn, which is all about death and decay. You know you are on the brink of transforming your life when you feel stuck. You don't like who you are, or you have addictions and or coping strategies that no longer work, and you're tired of the same old, same old. Yet at this point you don't know how to change, so you feel sad, even melancholy. You want to run and hide, but now that you're aware of what you don't want, you can't return to being the old you, unaware and discontented. Your relationships may be falling apart around you. Feeling alone, you turn inward to figure out what's happening. Then we move on to winter. This is the barren time. Because you've let slip the defenses that were no longer working for you anyway, you continue the journey inward and meet your shadow self. Now you feel as though you might die if you don't move forward. And at the same time, you fear the unknown because you're cut off from your spirituality. As you wander through a no man's land, watching your old self die away, you wonder who you really even are. Caught in a low mood, you feel vulnerable and exposed to the harsh elements from which you were once better protected. And next we move on to spring, which is rebirth and promise. You've wandered long and far with your shadow self, and now have made inroads to your core. Having released the old baggage you thought protected you, you're now grateful to be traveling lighter, and you embrace a new phase of action. You feel a natural impetus to move forward, knowing that any actions you take will serve your growth. You are willing to bring in the new. For example, you may establish healthier boundaries for yourself, as well as other behaviors that resonate with who you really are. And then we move on to summer, the season of warmth. Your efforts are coming to fruition, yay, and you feel whole, satisfied, and complete. You've lovingly nurtured and watered a deeper intimacy with yourself. Feeling pleased with your uniqueness, you can now reveal it to the world rather than burying it as you have in the past. You are more comfortable with yourself, with renewed self-esteem, and you celebrate the existence of a higher spiritual purpose behind life's struggles. You are ready to relax, knowing you've accomplished so much. I hope you found that model helpful and that share interesting. You know, regardless of what season you're in, whether it's fall, winter, spring, or summer in your life right now, one of the things I would like you to do is to take a moment or two when you either now or after you finish watching this video. And what I'd really encourage you to do is, especially if you're experiencing fall or winter, is to take a moment and just jot down a time when you were in spring or summer and really remember that time. It's so easy for us to lose sight of those really good times that we had and to just feel that all that is in front of us is all that there's ever going to be. That's one thing. So just kind of, if you will, think of it as a gratitude list of just reminding yourself of those times that you did accomplish or did realize the birthing of new things, changes in your life, and how good it felt to be on the other side of making certain choices. And if you're experiencing spring or summer, what I would also encourage you to do is to reflect on, you know, how much you have been through and how much you have transformed, and also do a little bit of a gratitude list and to really check in with yourself. More than ever, keeping your vibration high is something that is going to determine how you feel in your day-to-day life. You know, right now there is this birthing of a new consciousness, and we will bump up against our edges from time to time. Old thoughts will pass through our minds, old beliefs that limited us, old attitudes that we go, oh my goodness, that's really negative. You know, I can't believe that still crossed my mind. And yet, as you increase your conscious awareness through reflection, through taking time out of your busy life to check in with yourself and notice what those thoughts and emotions are all about, you don't have to spend hours on them, but even just a few seconds just to recognize them. What you're doing is you're also cultivating the witness. And right now, that ability to witness yourself in the simplest and even smallest of ways is what will allow you to lift yourself up and out of all the soupiness in the world right now. That simple practice daily of saying, I am going to, every time I can, even start with once a day. In the morning, I'm going to check in with how I'm feeling, what thoughts are on my mind as I get out of bed. And then also taking time to reflect as well too, and celebrate those moments in your life where change, it's been thrust upon you in your estimation, or happened abruptly, or maybe you've chosen it. And to just really reflect on how you have managed it and celebrating your successes and your wins. You know, right now, in my heart of hearts, I really believe that each and every one of us is so incredibly powerful. And the road back to remembering our inner power, our divine, sovereign birthright, is by taking simple, practical, daily, consistent steps to practice self-care. You deserve it. You're one in a million. There's no one else like you here on earth. And you're not here by accident, you're here on purpose, whether you fully realize it yet or not. So thank you very much for listening. Please know that you can reach out to me if you would like support during this time. I offer intuitive sessions, I offer infinity healing sessions, Reiki over distance, and I also have some amazing audios, infinity healing audios, in my online store that are very affordable and can support you at this time as well too. Wishing you infinite creativity, infinite abundance. Thank you so much for watching. Please be well. Namaste.